Hey, welcome back to the shop. Great day to be working. Garage is absolutely blown up. I'm doing some rearranging today. Some really cool stuff coming up. So stay tuned. Really exciting things going on in the garage workshop. So there's going to be a major announcement coming pretty soon. So anyway, I wanted to do a really quick video on two things that's really cool that's going on today. A little while back, a couple weeks ago, I found this magnetic chuck on eBay, and these things are usually pretty expensive. They could go upwards of $600 and on up. This is an older model, Magna Lock Corporation. Got really excited, pulled the trigger on it because it was so cheap. Did a little bit of reading, 115 volts, DC. Oh my. So I ended up with a magnetic chuck without a controller. You have to run these with a controller. So started looking at controllers. Cheapest I could find was just over $300 plus shipping, until I found this on eBay again. Really cheap, $75. The guy was selling it as is, and for parts only, because of this frayed cord, which I'll swap out in short order. But I brought it in, plugged it in, haven't even turned it on yet. The UPS guy I was unboxing this before it was even out of the driveway. So the eBay ad said that it was on a clearance center place, and they said that the person that they got it from claimed that it was working when they removed it. And so I took a chance on it for 75 bucks. I figured, you know, shoot the dice, right? So anyway, my plans for this is to make a miniature surface grinder for blades or whatever I happen to be working on. So I have a little piece of steel here. I literally have not turned this on yet, so I am just crossing my fingers. The reading I did on it, when it's in the off position, you flick it over to on. That energizes the magnet. When you turn it off, sometimes it doesn't release immediately. So the residual magnetism in there. So it actually has a release side that you flip it over, and that sends like pulses of the opposite polarization through the magnet to demagnetize it. So here's a piece of steel, and leave it hanging off the edge there. I kind of see how it hangs on there. Hopefully, I didn't buy a turkey here. So anyway, here we go. Cross your fingers. Well, no sound. I don't know if that's good or not. So whoa, I'm literally shaking this table. This thing, I can move it a little bit sideways, actually, but this thing is, holy crap, that thing is nuts. So I could imagine running a sander over this. Might see some use on the mill as well, for milling. Oh, I don't know, just taking cleanup passes or just whatever for milling. Wow, this is nuts. This is crazy. So let's flip it off. Wow, didn't even have to demagnetize it. Just comes right off of there. Wow. Let's see, I got a piece of old square tube on there. That's amazing. No, I guess there's no transformer or whatever it is in the box that does whatever it does. It's just silent. Whoa. Wow, this is just nuts. Wow, I'm so excited over this. So turn it off and it just comes right off. So all told, I think I have maybe 200 bucks in this. So I feel really good about that. oh, just so many uses for this that's just running through my heads. I have some linear rods that I might mount on the front and back side, and mount some sort of grinder on top of that. That'll slide back and forth with some sort of height control, so I could do surfacing on smaller bits and pieces. So super excited over that. That's so cool. And then I'll kind of show you really quick the second thing that I'm kind of jazzed about. This has been in storage for a long while. This is a welding table that I built a couple of years back, and was playing around with a plasma cutter one day, and I made this big clutter catcher, and actually made steel pegboard. When you got a plasma cutter, why not? CNC plasma cutter. So I have all kinds of, there's so much, there's just tons of tools and equipment that'll fit on that on this clutter catcher. And then the other really cool thing about this table is see all these keyholes cut in there with the plasma table. This is a 1/4 inch top. Could have went heavier, should have went heavier, but it's what I had. The steel was free at the time, so so I came up with these. Are based on a Craig jig woodworking system, and you take these clamps. This is a home brewed one. I also have a Craig jig one, actual one that goes to this, and use a button head screw on that. So anywhere on the table, you could put in a clamp, and this one has a busted spring from being used so much. But anywhere that you're on the table, you could clamp down whatever your workpiece is, and that's over the whole width of the table. So pretty much anywhere you're working, any kind of project you're working on, you're always within a couple of inches of having a clamping space. So super excited about that. I'm going to get it cleaned up. I'm going to paint the backing and load it up with all the tools and everything. And then the other thing I did here on the edge here, this is a piece of 2-inch receiver hitch tubing that I got from our local fabrication store, metal supply store. So they use this to make receiver hitches out of. And this is a piece of 2-inch square tube. And so I just drilled and welded on some nuts there. And so you could take kind of old broken ass Harbor Freight vise that I over torqued, but you could take whatever accessory that you want, whether it's a clamp or vise or whatever, and mount it to a piece of 2-inch square tube, run it on in there, tighten it down. And you can work on that. It's got adjustable legs. If you want to work standing up, you just throw a jack under it, raise it up, change the pins, and ready to go. Then I also have an overhead. I put some 100-pound drawer, full extension drawer pulls on there, and have a high intensity what are T5 or T9s or whatever they are, lights on there. And this slides back and forth, and it also pivots so that whatever you're working on here, you get really good lighting, which when you get to my age and poor eyesight, that's a very important thing. And then the other thing that I did, which I thought was pretty cool, drilled and tapped all of these air chucks on here, and have a feeder here capped off this tube top and bottom. So I run my air hose in here, activates all of these air lines for grinders and whatever else, whatever have you that I want to plug in there. So I have 4 air outlets there close to hand for die grinders, whatever else I'm going to use on the table. So this is something I fabricated a couple of years ago. Finally getting the garage set up and ready to work again, and so really happy to see this thing come out of hibernation and get used. So anyway, that's my update. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Some really cool stuff coming up, and and I'll share that with you in an upcoming video. So thanks for watching. Please give us a like and share it with your friends. As we go along here, I'm going to be doing some really cool stuff, rebranding the channel here pretty soon, and going to be sharing some really cool stuff with you as far as blacksmithing, basic metalworking, finishing tips and tricks. So it's going to be a good time. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.